What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Rantpocalypse Talks Outcast. I'm Justin.
Hey, I'm Kelly, and if you don't know this, we are actually related. He's my mom, and I'm his son.
Exactly.
Oh, no, wait, or something like that. Yeah.
It's close enough, you know.
Close enough.
Who knows? We're related. We live in Arkansas, so.
We're mom and son, but we're not married.
Yeah, exactly. Thank God.
Like
God.
The rest of the Arkansans. No, yes. We don't really mean that. That part's a joke.
We are here to discuss Season 1, Episode 5 of Cinemax, Skybound, and Robert Kirkman's super creepy, supernatural possession TV show Outcast. This episode is entitled The Road Before Us. In this episode, Anderson tries to assure Kyle his exorcism work. Chief Giles is discovering more and more about his dear old pal Ogden, and Kyle worries for his estranged wife, Allison, whose behavior begs the question, is she a battered woman or is a demon still inside of her?
Well, and I think we find out in the episode. Let me just do this real quick. Oh, wait, that's his Texas. That wasn't, but this was just my, oh my God, this episode was really awesome dance.
I know.
Did you get that?
And I did not get that at first. I was like, what is my mom doing right now? I think my mom's on the good drugs tonight. So,
trying to anyway. Good. It was really good.
It was a really, really good episode. And how awesome does it feel to finally be caught up to Outcast? We've been recording a whole shit ton of Outcast recaps all in 1 week to try and get caught back up to the show because we both were super excited about it before the season even started, and then we got left behind, and now we're catching up. So it's just fucking great to be caught up to actually where everybody else is, so that way we can discuss it. People can discuss the show with us. We would love to hear your thoughts on the show. You can email us. It's rantpocalypse@gmail.com. Or if you're watching on YouTube, just put all your comments in the comment box down below, because we're going to be discussing this episode in depth and in detail. And we're also going to be giving our top 3 moments from the episode for each of us. And then we're going to give our score out of Bacon's. I have to discuss something with you. I had to like pay really, really close attention to what exactly was said here. And I may still have it wrong. Okay. But there was that moment between Kyle and Sherry, because in this episode, like I said up front in the synopsis, Reverend Anderson, he was going way out of his way to showcase, hey man, I can do this shit. I exorcised all these demons.
Yes. It's all good. Yeah. Let's go on a road trip of all the demons that I have exorcised.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I don't think we found not one so far, have we? What is it? Well, batting 0?
Definitely batting 0.
Yeah.
He's Mildred, Ofer, random dude in the creepy pet store. I mean, good God, that's the creepiest
that
pet
guy
store
was
ever.
So scary.
He was super scary.
I don't want a bunny from there.
No, I don't think so. I don't think anybody's going to buy anything from that pet store. Probably the reason why it's closed down. And then Sherry. So that's another Ofer. I can't remember if there was anybody else. Well, Joshua technically counts because he wasn't getting anywhere with Joshua.
Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't do it by himself. It took Kyle bleeding all over him before the demon disappeared. So
exactly. Well, the part that I was going to talk to you about, whenever he's meeting with Sherry, and Kyle touches her, and Sherry freaks the fuck out, and she tells him, "You're the key. We need your light." The nameless, the numberless. We see through the veil. We come to you, and you lead us here.
That's my number 1, by the way.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Number 1.
Yeah, and I put what the fuck, because I'm sorry. Is that what you put too? Yeah, what the fuck? I didn't put any exclamations on mine, but I mean, that was so great to me. Yeah, everything that we've done so far has been leading up to this. Okay, I want to get into my top 3 real quick, because I want to talk about my number 2.
Yeah, go right ahead. That's fine.
Okay.
We can come back to mine.
Okay, so because Sydney goes to see Mildred, who, thank goodness, we got more Mildred in this, because we love her because she's so super creepy. And he walks in to her house uninvited. She says, first it's like, what the hell are you doing in my house? And she's like, oh, sorry. She recognizes him, even though she doesn't know who he is. And she says, what should I call you? Well, you should call him Sydney. You should have looked on IMDb and you would have known that from episode 1. But then he's looking at all her little figurines, her little Hummel things that she has. And Mildred talks about how she's collected things since she's arrived. What are they, aliens? I mean, seriously, are they? I get more of an alien kind of feeling.
I don't know. I've only read up to issue 12 in the comic book. So I know that there's like some ultimate reveal, and I believe issue 13. I don't even know if I want to read it because I want to be surprised on the show when it actually occurs. But then a part of me, I'm so wanting to just go to my comic books that are
and
right
get the answers.
And get the damn answers.
All the answers.
Yeah, and have all the damn answers, but I don't right now, so I can't put that off the table. I don't feel like that's the case because I do feel like this is a supernatural TV show, comic book.
Well, okay, supernatural. Aren't aliens supernatural? Are they not? I mean, is that not considered supernatural?
Well, technically, then we're supernatural.
It ain't American.
It ain't American. Yeah, I don't know, but that was a very interesting when you combine the two. When you combine the super creepy speech that Sherry delivers to Kyle, then you see this part where Mildred is talking about, what do I call you? You know my name or something like that. I have many names, or I feel like that's what he said in this episode. I didn't catch all of it because to me it felt more like I collected these possessions before I became this new possessed person.
I don't know. She said, I got, maybe that's what she does say, but I don't know. I just got this real weird arrival alien feel to it. And, at this point.
She did say, some of them since before I arrived, referring to the possessions and everything. But another part of that conversation that was really, really uber interesting was, Mildred is telling Sydney that she's not going to make it. And basically what she's saying is her body's not going to make it. The body that she's inhabiting is not going to make it. And he said, sometimes you draw the short straw.
Well, which was interesting to me because obviously we know he's been seemingly, if not sick, at least, vitamin loading. But he was coughing blood. And it was like we didn't really see Mildred start coughing until she gets up close to him, and then for some reason she goes in for the face suck, the kiss,
for the French kiss.
Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly what was going on there.
That was like an alien moment right there with the face huggers. She just all over his face. That was a killer kiss right there.
I didn't know if she was just a really lonely old lady or, but apparently she was trying to get a little something else. I don't know.
Well, it's very reminiscent of what they do with Kyle, which is also very interesting. I'm thinking to myself while I'm watching it, we briefly discussed it. I don't know if we dismissed it completely with having Sydney being somehow related to Kyle. I don't know.
Yeah, when he shows up at Sydney goes to Kyle's house and lays down in Kyle's bed. Yeah, it was creepy. He's been there before with his mom. I mean,
I didn't catch that, but maybe that's it. It was very awkward. I get that Sydney would want to go hang out at his house and kind of see what's crack-a-lacking at Kyle's house to make sure that maybe he doesn't have any more knowledge than Sydney thinks he has.
Prediction. He is his daddy. That is his dad.
You love daddy and somebody's pregnant.
And somebody's pregnant. But eventually you hit on something if you just always predict one of those. So, but I think that's his dad because it was just too weird when the way he was touching the things in the house and when he touched that bed and then just lied down on it. I don't know. But it was freaking creepy. But, it was funny because when I'm writing down the whole thing with Sherry and I'm trying to write down my notes and I said that she starts sucking the essence from Kyle, which sounds really weird. So I changed that to, sucking his soul. And then, you know, then she barfs that black goo, and he gets that goo did that same thing like it did when he was a kid, where it had kind of like strangled him.
Yeah,
you know, just surrounded him. That was so epic. I was definitely jumping up and down when I was watching that part.
Yeah, it's weird to see this goo, which is, I guess, basically this demonic spirit coming out of this individual's body, that it can actually physically hurt you, which is very weird to see. Okay, you're talking about alien shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Robert Kirkman is a comic book writer. He writes a superhero comic. If you've ever been a fan of Spider-Man, you know that he goes to, I don't remember the exact story because it's been told a few different ways, but basically the suit that everybody relates to Venom.
Right.
And that was Spider-Man's suit at one point. Like, it was given to him. He wore this suit that was the black Spider-Man suit. And it was a symbiotic relationship that this suit had with the person that wears it. And basically it takes over your entire body. Like, it, you know, it not only can take over your physical movements, but your mental movements as well. Like, mentally, physically, everything. And whenever I see this, probably bowel movements, movements. I would assume, you know, that I'm sure that symbiotic relationship.
I mean,
bowels a couple of times a day.
Pooping is important.
It is very important. Hopefully, you know, if for that suit, it wasn't pooping parts of the suit out or anything. But when I see that thing just engulf Kyle and try to, you know, choke him out, basically, that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of that alien life form. And so maybe you're going somewhere with the alien stuff. I don't know. I mean, we'll find out, I'm sure, here pretty soon. I'm so intrigued by that little speech that she gave to Kyle.
Yeah.
The nameless, the numberless. Do you think that we're dealing with a rapture situation?
No.
You don't think this is like the leftovers or something like that? And whenever she says the nameless and the numberless, I feel like God has all of the names of the good people that are going to get taken up.
Right.
And / numbers, you know, like whenever you go to the DMV or whatever they call it, the DPS, and you got to go pick your number, and then you wait in line. And when she says the nameless and numberless, that's the first place that my mind goes to. And I don't know if we're dealing with that, because we talk about this merge. Okay, is the merge, the rapture?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm so excited to find out what the hell everything is. We're on episode 5. There's only 10 episodes this season. So are we going to find out this season? I feel like we're going to have like this huge cliffhanger reveal at the end of the season, and you're going to be like left like, what the fuck is happening? Like, no, don't leave us right now.
Yeah.
God, I hope.
And then you'll go to the comic books.
And then I'll be like, I got the comic books. All you other suckers that don't have the comic books. So what was your number 1? Because I think did you already give your number 1?
Yeah, my number, the only one I didn't give was my number 3, which was just the whole Allison breaking down in this episode. Amber gets a little bitchy, calls her mom a mean bitch. So Allison exactly. Exactly. Allison goes to see Kyle when she reaches out and touches him, and it doesn't burn her like all the other people that have been possessed have been burned.
And that's what Kyle's worried about, is that she may still have remnants of that possession that can take back over her body and everything. Yeah, she's definitely stupid fly. She's definitely the one. This son of a bitch. Which was also interesting too. I don't know if you caught it in the very beginning of the episode, whenever Amber is playing with those dolls.
Yes.
And she tells the dolls, like, you've got to drink the black goo or something like that. Or if you drink the black goo.
Yeah, I loved that, because Amber apparently remembers a whole lot more about what happened than her mom does. So kids, always give them the dolls. They'll act out all the stuff they know in their life. Some of them you probably don't want to know about.
By the way, that was my number 1 as well, was the Kyle and Allison's last chat. I loved it for many, many different reasons. Probably number 1 is because that was in the comic book, and it's pretty much translated word for word from the comic book to the screen, So it was really cool to get to see that. I love that. If I could erase 10 minutes from our life, it would be perfect.
Oh, I know. That was heartbreaking. I know, because they're so sweet and obviously they love each other so much. But they do. They've got that little short period of time that fucked everything up.
I did like how the writers kind of deliberately tried to throw us off in this episode with Allison. They made it seem like she was kind of going down a dark path and that she was going to be possessed by the demons. But of course, when Kyle touches her, like you were saying earlier, you're safe, you're safe, you're safe.
I'm safe. What do you mean I'm safe? Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't just tell her at this point. I mean, come on.
You were
worst case
possessed
scenario,
by a devil, a demon. I saved your ass. I saved the kid's ass.
Yeah, and worst case scenario, she doesn't talk to him.
Exactly.
She already doesn't talk to your ass at this point. So yeah, I don't understand that. I'm just like, I just want to choke Kyle out myself and be like, just tell her, man. Just tell her what the hell happened.
He's such a good guy. He is so good. He has such a good heart. And he knows it would break her heart for her to know that it was all her. Although, again, it wasn't all her. She was possessed. So tell her that you need to move back into the house and protect her and your daughter.
Tell her how hot she is, bro. Come on.
Yeah, they make a pretty couple.
They do make a pretty couple. Getting into my top 3, I'll go quickly since I already talked about my number 1. My number 3 is, hi, this is Reverend Anderson. Just calling to make sure you're 100% demon free.
That was so good. That was so good.
Oh my God. I love the way these two interact in the show with Kyle and the Reverend. It's kind of weird because obviously this show is super serious, super creepy, and it's very dramatic. But I love the fact that we get so many moments of comedy from these two. Mm-hmm. They're pretty much, to me, they're comedy gold. When they're on, they're awesome. I'm like, I could watch this as a buddy cop movie on the big screen, and it would be great. So it is very nice to see that they have those moments, and I love that one. That was so great there.
I'm worried because it seems like their whole relationship is hitting the fan right now. You know, the Reverend's getting more and more jealous of the fact that he doesn't have the gift. His face, you know, the Reverend's face is being shoved into the fact that, you know, you didn't help anybody.
My biggest problem is they just like, they waffle back and forth so damn much. I'm like, just make up your minds. Do you like each other? Do you not like each other? I don't know what the hell's going on with them sometimes. That was probably one of my biggest disappointments with this episode, was the fact that Reverend Anderson, we just saw his breakthrough in episode 4, where he tells Kyle the number one sin, or at least his number one sin, is pride and being too prideful with his work.
Okay, but he didn't say that he had done anything about that sin. He just admitted it. So,
well, they did though. He immediately was like, we got to go start correcting my bad job that I was doing because I was too prideful. And then they went back in this episode, and now he's too prideful again. Like, that was probably my biggest gripe with this episode, is it just felt so out of place. I'm like, we just beat this. We just beat this last episode, and then now we're coming back, and now we're beating a dead horse is what we're doing in this episode. It felt out of place. Like they almost edited something where this should have been in last week's episode, and then they should have moved on past it in this week's episode. So it was just a little bit off. That was probably my number one thing that I did not like from this episode, and probably the only thing I didn't like from this episode, because other than that, it was just balls to the wall awesome. My number 2 favorite moment was Giles and Ogden's convo. I thought the first conversation was uber sneaky on Giles' part whenever he meets up with him at the fire station. And he's kind of laying the foundation for, I'm about to get your ass.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know about it right now. And then he kind of reels it back in, and he says, I just came here to get my breakfast, or I miss my breakfast so much. But then whenever he meets up with him, whenever Ogden's chainsawing those trees down.
Man, I thought shit was going to go bad, really bad.
He's got he's unholstering his gun basically to his best friend.
Yes, and he even tells him, you know, you're going to turn that off so we can talk. And he sticks his hand on his gun. So there's Robert Kirkman has some serious relationship friend oddities, because if these are like big buddies and best friends, but they'll, chainsaw or shoot each other, or, I mean, it's just, that's just weird.
Ogden, he just scares me. Like I think that's one of my favorite things about this episode, not only for their back and forth between each other, and it's just, he scares me. I don't know what the hell he's got going on. For him to just burn that RV down and think that there's not going to be any repercussions, he must be very evil in my eyes, or there must be something super evil associated with all of those animal sacrifices, as well as what was going on in that RV. So I just can't wait to find out more.
It's gonna be good. I was very surprised that Mark was able to track down that missing woman.
Threw us off the scent.
Yes, at least for a minute.
Ogden for a little bit. So what will you give this episode out of bacons this week?
I give this one a 4.5 bacon. Oh, you know what? Actually, I wrote down that I gave it 5 bacons.
Damn, you tried to take a half bacon away.
I tried to take it. So because I'm thinking, why did I only give it 4.5? No, I gave it 5 bacons. So what did you give it?
I gave it 4 out of 5 bacons. I love the mystery the show is building. Everything that we talked about with Sherry's conversation, with Mildred's conversation.
Okay, all those things. Exactly. All that curiosity, all that your mind is about to break because you can't figure it out. And you gave it 4 bacons? What's wrong with you?
Well, I loved Reverend Giles and Ogden, just like I said, that's awesome stuff. Reverend Kyle being all over the place, that's a plus and a minus for me right there. It is a plus whenever we have awesome comedic moments. It's a minus whenever they kind of
rehash the same stuff.
They're wishy-washy and they revert back to their old ways. And I understand that that's human life. We as humans, we're fallible.
I mean, how many times have you been in the same, we've had the same argument. You have the same argument all the time with your girlfriend, I'm sure, and you go back to it week after week after week after week after week. So it's just human nature. It
is human nature, but it's also human nature for me to talk shit about it. So
that's true.
I didn't like the Reverend reverting back to his old ways from after we kind of like moved past that last week. So that's why I took it.
You just said that. So you reverted back to your old ways by repeating it again.
Yeah, that's why I took a bacon off. Damn you.
Okay, I'm taking a bacon away from you, dude. I almost gave you 5 bacons for this episode, but you only get 4.
And then you just took a bacon away from me. Yeah, exactly. Pretty soon we're gonna, have comments down below. They're gonna rate us in bacons.
Oh my God! Thanks for putting that in somebody's head.
Do not do that. Do not do that. Yep, that's it. I think that's all we got. If you want to email us, again, it's rantpocalypse@gmail.com. Leave all your comments in the comment box down below about this episode. We'll be back to discuss our predictions as we watch the teaser for next week's episode. Can't wait to find out what's going to happen in episode 6. Thanks so much for joining us, and we hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Bye.